That's TNN right here on your Classic Metal Show with Jeff Pilson on vocals, and that's When Eagles Die, featuring George Lynch on lead guitar and Brian Tichy on drums, being it's one of the originals. I guess Mike doesn't play on the original songs, only plays on the Doc and Rehash.
Right, exactly.
So I think next week we're going to do the best of the Classic Metal Show, and I know that you're sifting through. Is the TNN review going to be a part of that, or is that going to be B-roll?
You know what, dude? That's one of those that's on the cusp.
It's on the fence.
It's on the fence. It really comes down to time. I mean, I'll just tell everybody straight. If you're going to listen to the best of next week, get a nap in, because it's going to be at least 7 hours. There's no way to cut it to 6. There's no way. Because, I mean, if you think about it, just Infirmary Kids is 1 hour and 20. Just that segment. The Happy Time with Harry with the abortion was 1 hour and 20.
Wow.
And the Talking Metal was 1 hour and 40.
Nice.
That right there is two-thirds of our time if we go 6 hours.
Well, speaking of the Infirmary Kids, and I meant to ask you about this,
Yeah.
What's the status with the new song about the person who supplied you with the Infirmary Kids? What's the fallout? Is there anything you can tell us that we don't know already?
Nothing yet. I'm anxiously awaiting it. I have Stephanie on guard for it to make sure that I get it as soon as she gets it. Even if that means I have to talk her through how to rip it to an MP3.
Well, what I find funny is we're the guys who ripped the Infirmary Kids apart, but yet they're making a song about her.
Yeah, well, because she sucks.
Okay, because she handed it over.
I guess
they should be trying to hammer us.
They should be thrilled with us for getting them nationwide attention. I mean, how funny was it that Bob Nalbandian on the other side of the country knows about them now?
Well, they say there's no such thing as bad press.
And there you go. People know. I mean, Bob is over in, where's Bob, L.A.?
Yeah, he's in L.A.
He's in L.A., and what did he threw a this middle fingers for you, pal.
Right.
So, come on. We're helping them.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, speaking of L.A. and helping people, I think that you have done a service for this young man.
Okay.
By bringing him to the attention of the Classic Metal Show fans, and myself included.
Okay.
You brought to the table early in your return to the Classic Metal Show a guy who we just couldn't get enough of.
That's right.
And he goes by the moniker of, drumroll please, Stevie Peavy. What? I said Stevie Peavy.
You are arrogant, hot-tempered, entirely too bold. I like that.
Nice. All right. Well, anyway, you snagged a Stevie Peavy segment.
I did. In fact, I snagged every one of them that he has, just in case he would be so inclined to ever pull this down.
Right. So let's jump into the world of Southern California's own Stevie Peavy.
All right.
Get ready to listen to the greatest heavy metal podcast of all time. Heavy Metal War Stories with your host, Stevie Peavy.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Stevie Peavy. Everybody's
glad to know he's got the reverb going on again.
Yeah, he's got it in big form.
Yeah, he's either recording this in the John, or he's taking lessons from the metal lessons or metal talking experts. Metal douchebags,
right?
And adding reverb.
Well, it sounds good so far.
Sounds like classic '60s AM radio.
It's fantastic. Wolfman Stevie here.
Right.
Favorite guy with you again on Heavy Metal War Stories. Wow. What a week or weeks I've been having. I don't know. I found out about this event, and I don't know if I wouldn't consider myself a dork, but
I would. Stevie, you're a dork.
I think he's great. I think you're being very hard on Stevie Peavy.
I'm not being hard on him. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Okay.
Then again, I do, host and upload a podcast and what else? Know tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stupid stuff about heavy metal that, if instead of heavy metal was comic books and I knew that much about comic books, then I'd pretty much be a dork. So,
oh, well, it's call it like you see it, Stevie.
You are one pathetic loser.
Thank you.
Not you.
I know. I'm thanking you for the clip.
Oh.
Since it's been so long.
I know. I have a few clips. I'm going to use them.
All right.
It's up to you whether you think I'm a dork or not. I'll leave that at that. But I would...
Votes?
Yeah.
I got my hand raised.
Mine's way up high. Both hands are up.
Okay. You're a dork, Stevie.
Dork, Stevie.
Never go to something dorky like a comic book festival, because that's just Loserville.
Well, Nikki Sixx's girlfriend, attended the last Comic-Con, even though nobody knew who she was.
Yeah. Now she's engaged to him.
Right, she is.
Great.
So I guess, Nikki Sixx is dating a girl from Loserville.
How much money does Nikki Sixx have that he can keep giving this money up in divorce settlements?
Who knows?
Jesus, he's been married, 3 times?
Donna D'Erico. Who else was he married to?
He was married to somebody else before her.
Somebody Sherry Cherry or something.
Yeah, something like that. And he was engaged to Kat Von D, but then he broke that off, right?
And he dated Lita. He was with Lita for a while, but he wasn't.
Ford,
I don't think he was married to her though.
I need to be reincarnated as his cock. Jesus,
really?
He's had some good women.
Just think of the stank you'd have on that.
Well, every once in a while he rubs some Taco Bell on it. And...
Nice.
See, I read the dirt.
Well, where to go, Frank?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to judge. It's not my thing. I mean, actually, it's getting pretty mainstream to go to Comic-Con in San Diego. It gets like a zillion people, and it's not even about comics anymore. I worked at a job where I had to go there for work one year, and I swore I'd never go again. They still want me to go every year, and I won't go.
Flipping burgers at the Comic-Con.
Janitor?
Yeah. I swore I wouldn't go again, but God damn it, they dragged me right back in the next year.
Yeah, because I work at the convention center running the vacuum, I had to go back.
Right, I set up all the tables and chairs.
Right, I plugged those vacuum cleaners into the spark plugs on my freaking shoulder pads, and they run.
But if you like comics, I think you'd be kind of disappointed, because the comics are like stuffed in a corner, and the whole thing is about Twilight and maybe some dudes from Survivor signing autographs, and it's Iron Man, it's whatever comic book movies are out is what that is. So I don't even know why.
So is that not comic book related then?
Well, I don't know. Apparently not. I guess Survivor, the TV show's not, but unless there's a comic book about it, I don't know. I've never gone.
Well, Kevin Smith is a big fan.
But he has a comic book. He's involved with comics.
I know he is, but he did like the Green Lantern, and he produced. He was the director,
right? Sure,
of these comic book movies. But he speaks at these Comic Cons and stuff.
Which, by the way, since we sort of talked about Roku earlier, and we're talking about Kevin Smith now, if you haven't watched it, Too Fat for 40.
Oh, okay.
It's a Kevin Smith speech, just him on stage. Freaking hilarious.
All right, well, good tip, because after we're done tonight and I'm laying back with an adult beverage trying to, come down from the excitement of the classic metal show, I'm going to tune that in.
It's very good.
All right, Too Fat for 40.
Too Fat for 40.
Excellent.
Rambling about comic festivals, because this has nothing to do with it. But there was a kind of festival instead, but there was a festival that was going on, and one of the things that I think is really dorky about festivals is say you have like a comic festival, and your comic character is some crazy thing out of Dimension X, and you have this spikes and leather, and you built this cool costume, and then you go to the...
Do you build costumes?
Apparently Batman did.
You build this cool costume.
Batman did.
What I find funny is that for a guy who doesn't know anything about comics, he sure used a lot of description there.
Yeah, he knows an awful lot about stuff he doesn't pay attention to.
Right, and not only that, but just the fact that he's so veiled in what he's really talking about.
Yeah.
There was this other convention, it's just like, hey, there was a comic book convention down at the Anaheim, convention center, or it was called this, but he's just like so veiled with the specifics. It's like
he doesn't want to give a plug to somebody else.
Okay, is that what it boils down to?
Yeah, I mean, he works as a janitor at the place in San Diego.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be plugging the other place.
Yeah, it's like, so I went to the comic book festival at the Jar Arena.
Right.
But he's like, there was this other festival that was like, kind of was about this. It's like, well, what was it?
Yeah, really.
Festival to get your picture taken and stuff. And you got this crazy warrior costume, and you're standing in a hotel ballroom. I mean, what warrior's got carpet and a banister and a little sign saying Ballroom A above his head?
Well, what band plays in the middle of 3 lanes of bowling? That's what I want to know. And wears spark plugs on their shoulder pads at a bowling alley.
He's cool. Comic-Con's not.
Okay.
Remember that.
All right.
So dork. Anyway, so I heard of this other festival, and it was...
Does it have a name?
It's Other Festival, apparently.
Is that like other internet radio DJs? Mm-hmm. There's this other show I listen to that's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was called Wasteland Weekend. This was last year. I picked up a flyer for it last year, and it's full on Road Warrior. It was just like Mad Max cars and dudes in freaking football pads and spikes and leather and flamethrowers and
flamethrowers.
Why does he describe this with almost like such disdain in his voice when he's wearing spark plugs on shoulder pads?
I don't know.
It's like they were wearing spikes and leather, and they had this. But I have this costume that I built, and it's got spark plugs on the shoulder pads, and that rules.
Dude, I'd be afraid to go to a place where they got flamethrowers.
Fire breathers and shit like that. But it looked pretty grassroots. So I did a little
and shit like that. But it was pretty cool.
I don't know. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to build a lot of stuff like forts and shit. I don't remember a time when I built a flamethrower. I'm not remembering that. And truthfully, I had a lot of friends that built stuff too. Never a flamethrower.
Right.
It doesn't sound very grassroots to me at all.
That's because you weren't old enough to buy the propane at the gas station.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I was, I could have done it with like some Brute by Fabergé or something and lit that shit on fire, but that's about as close as I was going to get.
Sure.
Researching because it was coming up this year, and it was like you're supposed to dress like your coolest Road Warrior, fucked up post-apocalyptic thing you could, and it wasn't at some hotel ballroom. It was actually in the middle of nowhere desert in California. It's in a place called California City. And if you heard, Mexico City and Jersey City and Oklahoma City, those are pretty much landmarks of whichever state, country they're in. But California
state or country they're in.
Yeah. Well, because Mexico City is in Mexico, I guess.
Right. California City, out in the desert, somewhere in California.
Somewhere hidden out there.
Yeah, it's not quite as noteworthy.
Mm-mm.
Your city's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's not even anything. It is wasteland. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. So what I wear in my.
He talks about it with such great disdain and hate, and it's in the middle of nowhere, and God, losers would go there. So I decided to check it out.
Yeah, so I went. It was great.
He's just like so anti-negative on one side, and then all of a sudden it's like, and so I was there.
Yeah, he's great. I love Stevie.
He's got like some kind of an internal struggle going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And Death Squad Demon Gods is fairly Road Warrior anyway, so I didn't have to do any work for the costume, which was awesome because I was in a lazy mood. and drive up to California City, and it was pretty badass. It was just like tons and tons of Mad Max shit everywhere. Well, not Mad Max, because Mad Max was sort of pre-apocalyptic, and actually I don't like the movie Mad Max. It's kind of boring. The Road Warrior, I love that movie, and that's totally post-apocalyptic, and so everybody there was just out of control. Like,
it's not cool if bombs and napalm and radiation wasn't polluting the land. It's only cool after that happened.
That's right, man.
Before it happened, that's for pussies, man.
Yeah, because those guys had everything. They took everything.
Pre-apocalyptic, not so cool. Post-apocalyptic, badass.
That's the cool shit.
Right.
Dudes, just a Four Loko in one hand and a 40 in the other, and they're all like from Baker's Feet. Inland Empire, San Bernardino, and desert cities. I mean, there were a lot of cool people, but they were missing a lot of teeth. A lot of 20-year-olds who were already...
They're missing a lot of teeth?
What is that about?
So if they're in a desert city, which I lived in a desert city, I don't recall people without a lot of teeth.
Well, the thing that's funny about that is if it's truly post-apocalyptic, I don't think they have dentistry.
Are you sure he's not talking about West Virginia or Tennessee?
Ravenna, Ohio.
Ravenna.
Lima.
Right. It's like out in the desert, and there's people, and they're missing a lot of teeth, and it's post-apocalyptic for real.
They're losing their teeth because of the radiation, apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
And half their teeth and shit. So anyway, that was my weekend, wasteland weekend. Just breathing fire. It was hot as shit. It was like camping out in the desert. And I had two pairs of pants that I brought. I brought my leather pants because I knew that would look badass. And then when I wanted,
I brought my leather pants because I knew that would look badass.
Wait until you hear this story. This story alone had me in tears. Without us commentary.
Well, did he even explain the reason why he went to this?
Nope.
He just said there was this thing. It's dorky. Yeah. There's people with bad teeth. It's out in the middle of nowhere. He went, and what was the attraction for him?
Oh, because it was hot as shit, apparently.
So why did he go?
I have no idea, because he thinks this stuff is gay, remember?
Yeah, he does. That's my point. It's just like, well, I'm making fun of it, and it happens, and dorks go to this, and losers, but I went, and why did you go?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm missing part of the story here.
No, it's crazy.
Kind of calm it down a little bit. Then I had some torn black jeans. So go a little mellow. So somehow,
so torn black jeans are mellow
compared to those leather pants.
Okay, I didn't know that jeans had like a feel or a tone to them.
Yeah, they're mellow, dude. You don't think that? Don't you just throw on a pair of jeans and say, "Man, I'm mellow now."
Today I'm mellow. I'm wearing my black ripped up jeans.
That's way mellow.
Tomorrow I'm going full bore, in your face, black leather pants.
That's right, because I'm a post-apocalyptic, mean motherfucking man.
Right. Thank you, Chris Holmes.
You're welcome.
When I was over at my gal's house, we were planning on going together, and I forgot the black jeans. I tried them on. I left them.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
No way. No way. What was
Weekend ruined.
What was Stevie Peavy going to wear if he couldn't mellow out during the Weekend Warrior thing?
Dude, the weekend's ruined. He forgot the black jeans.
Shit.
But he'll tell you about this, though.
So I show up 104-degree desert with nothing to wear on my legs except for my leather pants, and that was cool for a while. I can handle a little discomfort for looking badass, but after
he can handle a little discomfort to look badass.
Yeah, of course, dude. And he must have looked badass.
Okay. Is that the same line that chicks use? I could handle a little discomfort of wearing 6-inch stiletto heels as long as I look like a hot slut.
Right. Sort of the same.
Okay. Just trying to make comparisons.
There it is.
The first day, it was getting really old, just trying to wriggle into leather pants in just the fucking hottest time ever. You know, it got old. So, you know, but fortunately, I was wearing these really, really tight black,
Tell
basically boxer briefs, but you know what? So basically, I'm by Saturday, got there Friday at noon. Saturday, I'm already just running around in my underwear, black shirt, fucking spiked shoulder armor.
Boy, that must have been that almost reminds me of something you see on Lingerie Football League or something. Right? They wear like bikini bottoms and like a bra, and then they wear shoulder pads. That's what it reminds me of, the lingerie football.
All right, if you don't know anybody there, and you see a guy wearing shoulder pads, a black T-shirt, and underwear running around, what do?
You're just like, okay.
I get the fuck out of there as quick as I can.
Sure.
It's horrendous.
Wow. But that's all. That's the first thing that came to my mind is lingerie football league.
Too funny.
Would airbrush some like sweet war paint on my face, and I'm just running around like wielding guns and, you know, drinking beer, fucking throwing my boomerang in the desert.
He's throwing his boomerang in the desert.
Boomerang.
Wielding guns.
What year is this that he has a boomerang?
Wow. This guy knows how to live.
This is a fucking party animal, dude.
I'll tell you.
And whatnot. So anyway, that worked out great. I don't know if we're Facebook friends. If you're Facebook friends with me, Stevie Peavy, I put a bunch of cool photos from there on there. This is so dork. But anyway, this is like a 10.
So why are you telling this?
Because he's got to fill time on his podcast.
Apparently. This is so dork.
So dork.
And I'm not a dork.
Mm-mm.
But I'll leave that up to you.
Right.
All right.
Minute segue. And the only thing I had to do was say, I don't go to a lot of metal shows. I know it's a little bit of a travesty, being that this is Heavy Metal War Story, that I don't go to, you know, full on straight up metal shows. I'm not going to Trivium. I'm not going to Testament. I'm not going to like, I'm not going to any like modern, really metal, full on metal shows. And
who would that be?
Dream Evil?
Metal, full on metal.
I don't know who he's talking about there, but
I know.
He don't go to them.
You don't go to see Testament?
Yeah.
Really? Dude, I love Testament.
How are you metal if you don't go to Testament?
Yeah, especially when it's usually, let me use a cliche commercial radio term. Right. Usually it's a low dose show.
Yeah, usually is.
Yeah.
He's not into metal.
He's not into seeing it, but he's got heavy metal war stories.
More heavy metal knowledge than anybody in the history of mankind.
But his podcast is Heavy Metal War Stories.
Well, maybe someone told him.
Okay.
I know a lot of you guys, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably don't want to hear that, but I like the old school metal. I like metal before, like kind of in the 80s when it was, you know, I don't know. It can't be too prog rocky. I'm not going to no Dream Theater and stuff. But Saxon was playing at the Key Club right when I get back from the Wasteland. Saxon, who was pretty much the first show I ever saw in my life, Saxon with Iron Maiden. And here they are again. I haven't seen them in over 2 decades, and they're finally coming to America. What do you mean finally coming to America? They've been touring every record in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I don't a few times.
I don't think there's a time where you can't see a Saxon show.
Saxon is definitely not a hard band to see.
They're finally here in the U.S.
Well, for him, I mean, you know, maybe they played everywhere but San Diego.
Oh, apparently. Wow. Seriously. How many albums has Saxon put out since like 2000? 5?
Jeez, 5 or I mean, there's Killing Ground, and there's the one that's purple, and there's the one that came out last year with the guy standing.
They put one out about every 2 years.
Yeah, Saxon's a pretty reliable every 2 to 3 years anyway. They put out an album. They've at least put out 5 since 2000.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they've toured every one of them, be it clubs or whatever, here in the States.
Yeah, and they've played even big festivals.
Sure.
They've been easy to see.
America. They played Houston like 2 or 3 years ago, and we were actually not Houston, San Antonio, Texas. Playing there 3 years ago, and we were thinking of going. Why not? No, not just for Saxon. We could go hang out in Texas and see Saxon. So here they are at the Key Club, 15 minutes from my house, Hollywood Sunset Strip. And the night, I just got back from the wasteland, peeling the grime off, finally getting my sweaty leather pants off. My hair is just a freaking...
I thought he said he was running around without his pants on.
On, off, dude. Let's not get technical with Stevie Peavy.
All right, so he's at home peeling the pants off.
Yeah, he's peeling those pants off. Because they were skin tight, but badass looking.
Yeah.
They were.
Wicked.
Wicked awesome.
Joke. And Saxon. So I'm like, oh, God, I can't deal with this. I just can't deal with it. And I'm like, it's been over 2 decades since you've seen him. You know, you're really going to puss out because you're a little tired. This is bullshit. So I'm on this site, Metal Sludge, and they mention they're playing the Galaxy, which is in Orange County, and that's like on the weekend. So I'm like, all right, fuck this shit. Going to bed. Just came back from the wasteland. Not going to go see Saxon, but I am going to get to see Saxon this weekend. So you know, I even asked the girl I went to the wasteland with if she would go to Saxon. Oh my gosh!
I like how he's distancing himself. All of a sudden, he calls her his gal before, and then he goes, then the girl I went to the wasteland with.
Yeah, well, apparently
she was just some chick.
Maybe she was appalled by being with a dude that was running around in his underwear and shoulder pads out in the desert with a bunch of freaks with no teeth.
Right.
So awesome. She's like, she doesn't even know who Saxon is. She says yes. I mean, what girl just, you know, you don't even, I'm assuming she's going to be the only girl at Saxon. So all week long, I'm looking forward to fucking Saxon. I love Saxon. I don't know. No.
You ever notice that everything he makes a statement about, he follows it with "I don't know"?
Yeah, everything. He doesn't know much.
Yeah, it's like, I like Saxon. I don't know. I went to this Comic-Con thing. I don't know. I went out to this wasteland thing. I don't know.
I don't know. These people didn't have any teeth. I don't know.
Well, New America never really got Saxon. They got decently big, I think, during Crusader. You know, building through Power and the Glory and Crusader, and you know, I don't think they've even been on the. Biff said from stage they hadn't been on the West Coast in 15 fucking years, if you can believe that. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Whatever.
All right,
but it's fucking Saxon, man.
Yeah, dude. I just wanted to go see fucking Saxon, and this chick, she's gonna be the only chick at Saxon.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there I go, and we decided to go down to Orange County to see Saxon. And this club, the Galaxy, is pretty cool. It's not like crowded, and it's not a fucking nightmare to get in and out. You can park for free, just walk in. So we get there pretty late because I want to miss all the bullshit pay-to-play openers.
The bullshit pay-to-play openers. Okay, well, I guess that is being kind of honest.
I'm with that.
Okay.
I don't like going early to see bands I don't want to see either.
Right. But I have been to the Galaxy numerous times, and it's a decent club.
Didn't Cinderella put out a live record from there?
I think
Union or somebody?
No. It's Great White's "Thank You, Good Night."
It's from the Galaxy.
It's from the Galaxy.
I knew it was one of them bands.
You're absolutely right, sir.
Yep. The Galaxy, like a lot of places in the Sunset Strip, pretty much subsidize some of the ticket sales by having these bullshit bands that aren't very good, but have enough money to sell tickets and stuff. So you want to miss those. Other countries.
Way to support the metal there, Stevie Peavy. Way to support it.
These bands suck, but they'll put out their own money. So yeah, fuck them. I'm not going to see them.
So being that you're in one of these type of bands there, Stevie Peavy, what would your thoughts be if somebody said, "Yeah, you want to miss that death band, whatever what's the name of his band?"
Oh, Disciples of Death or something.
Disciples of Death Ray on shoulder pads or something.
Whatever it is.
How do you feel about that?
He's like, fuck those bands, dude. I'm over at the bowling alley.
Right.
Other cities may not be as familiar with this kind of thing, but in LA, pay to play is a big thing. So you're going to suffer through about 5 bands of just horrible, horrible guys whose only qualification for being on the stage is that they had enough money to pay the club to sell tickets to be on the stage.
Okay.
Why do I think that Stevie Peavy's band doesn't get to play a lot of good shows? Because they don't have any money.
Right.
That's the vibe I'm getting from
I'm
this.
getting the same vibe as well.
I'm
So
not
he,
thinking
so
that
he's
those
almost envious of these guys.
I'm not thinking that the bands that are playing are shit as much as Stevie wishes that his band was opening for Saxon
Right.
and couldn't afford to.
Sure.
That's my take.
So you don't want to get there early, trust me. So I'm thinking Saxon's going at 11, but it's a Sunday night. You know, so I figure we'll get there at, you know, I was actually planning to get there like 10:30, but we actually got there about 9:30, and the final band was finishing up. So holy shit! Not only are Saxon going on right now, which is awesome, but we're not, you know, it's not going to be way too late because I'm still tired. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still too tired. I don't know.
That's a week later.
I'm still tired. I don't
Said
know.
he got home from the thing
Yeah,
on
and he was gonna
Sunday,
go-
and
and
he
he
said
was
that they
looking-
were playing on the weekend.
Yeah, he said he was
Fucking
looking
a week later.
He said he was looking forward to seeing Saxon all week.
Yeah.
So, but he was
So a
still
week later, he's
tired.
still
I don't
tired
know.
from the Wastelands.
I don't know. I'm still tired. I don't know.
You know, I've done some shit lately where I've gone like 3 or 4 days in a row without sleeping, and I gotta admit, I get one good night's sleep, I'm not tired anymore.
You're back to normal.
Back to normal.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I you know, hang around, buy a couple of beers, and the lights go down, and I'm getting pretty stoked because they play some intro music, but they actually just play kind of a song, and then and that goes into some like classical music, and that it actually goes on way too long. You know, you're kind of like, I'm all for the big fucking you know, awesome intro music that just fucking explodes into a song, but this is like 5 minutes of intro music. Finally, like, dude, get on stage. And they do. They jump on stage. They come on stage with a new one. I didn't love it. It was called Hammer of the Gods. But then they started going in all their classics. You know, they did Motorcycle Man and Denim and Leather. Well, Denim and Leather came later, but you know, they jump on stage.
So, and you still knew it, right?
Yeah, so they played it.
This is a little off topic, but I'm going with kind of the same thought process here.
Okay.
Did you hear about Mick Jagger doing the top 10 countdown on David Letterman earlier in the week?
No, didn't hear about this at all.
So Mick Jagger did the top 10 countdown for David Letterman.
Okay.
The things that I've learned after 50 years of being in rock and roll.
Okay.
And like number 5 was, one of the things I've learned, or the 5th thing I've learned in 50 years of being in rock and roll, nobody wants to hear a new one from your new record. Or nobody's interested in hearing a song from your new album or something like that.
Hilarious.
So that's kind of where he's at. They played a new one from the new record. I just wasn't into that.
Right.
You know, I had to hear the classics, man. Things that are 30 years old.
Hold on. Never mind. I was going to go with the top 10, but of course I got the backstage footage of them leading him to the fucking...
Nice.
Can't they just post it? Fuck. Shit, I thought I had something going.
All right.
Whatever.
So much for impromptu live radio.
That's right. Fuck it.
And Saxon are old as shit, you know, and British dudes. I don't want to offend my British audience. I mean, fucking Britons were so many of the great, awesome metal bands.
He doesn't want to offend his British audience.
No, he said his fucking British audience, didn't he?
He has an audience in Britain.
Of course he does. Big one.
Oh, sure. Oh, that's right. He's everyone's favorite guy.
There's tens of people out there in Britain that love him.
Right.
Originate, but British dudes, you know, they don't age. They're not. I wouldn't say they age the best of all nationalities. You know, you get to be a certain age, you just kind
Is
of.
Britain a nationality? I wasn't aware of that.
I guess. British.
That's a nationality?
Well, I mean, it's not European.
Okay.
It's not American.
No.
I guess maybe it's a national. I don't know.
It just doesn't sound right. But anyway, who am I to dispute Stevie Peavy?
Stevie Peavy could be right on this.
Like that. that older pub owner kind of a thing. And Paul, the OG guitarist in Saxon, definitely looks like he could own a B&B, bed and breakfast. But Biff looks bitchin'.
A B&B.
B&B, man. Bed and breakfast.
Right. I knew right away what he was talking about. I'm glad he clarified that up.
Biff looks old as hell, but Biff's got gray hair, but it's really long. And Biff has segued into that, not the best looking frontman, but definitely a rock and roll looking front. He looks like a Viking. Like if you're casting a swords and sorcery or a barbarian movie, Biff would be like the Viking leader or the tribal elder. There's like the young Conan dude who's the main character, and then his dad. I know the new Conan movie had a different guy, but Biff could be like, it kind of looks.
Of course, it had a different guy. It's the new Conan. He's like Ricardo Montalban.
So great.
He could be the Viking leader.
You're the Viking leader.
Right.
Like the old Viking kind of guy. So that's badass. And he sounds great. Biff, I don't know about his voice. He didn't have the greatest, the hugest range in all of metal, but he had a good voice. I liked it. And he hasn't lost a step. I mean, a lot of dudes have, Rob Halford isn't what he was. And Bruce Dickinson's still pretty good. I can't think of, Roth's okay. But, Biff just sounded exactly like he should. You don't go, oh, Biff is good, for his age, and you got to just be there and remember what it was. No, Biff is just what he used to be, or as good, or even better. You don't think for 1 second that the vocals need a little help. So that was awesome. So you got Biff, you got and then you got this, Paul, who's the other guitarist from way back in the day, and then you got two other dudes. I have to confess, I haven't been following Saxon. I bought Innocence Is No Excuse, which is an old album. A lot of people don't like it. I like it a lot. I bought that, and that's like 86 or 85, and I haven't bought any Saxon since then. So
he's a huge fan.
Big fan.
Yeah, because they've only put out like 14 records since then.
Since 86, he hasn't bought anything in 25 years.
Yeah, haven't bought a new one.
Big fan.
But they, fucking Saxon, man.
Big fan.
Whatever happened to that second Saxon that was going out there as,
Oliver Dawson Saxon?
Yeah, what happened to that?
They lost their lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
So they had to retire.
I guess. Holy smokes. So Stevie Peavy, obviously a huge Saxon fan. I haven't bought a thing from them in 25 years or 20,
24 or whatever.
Yeah. Nice. Heavy Metal War Stories right here, Stevie Peavy.
Stevie goes to concert and watches. That's what we're hearing.
Right. I don't buy anything new. I don't support local bands. I don't, I don't get involved.
But he watches Saxon.
Boy, I'll tell you.
That's and I don't know any of their stuff, but they did play all the classic stuff I wanted to hear. They played Denim and Leather and Power and the Glory. They played 747, Motorcycle Man, Wheels of Steel, all that really good old stuff, and Strong Arm of the Law, which is probably one of my favorite songs. But, so they played everything I wanted to hear, and some of the new stuff, I don't know. It's just like, it's like most bands where, they have to do some new ones, and for the most part, you just wish they'd play the old stuff. Yeah.
Way to go. Let's not perpetuate the career or anything.
No, not at all.
But Stevie, I got to be honest with you. Saxon has put out some pretty solid albums since 1986.
Yeah, you might like Devil's Ground or, the newer stuff. It's not bad.
Yeah, give it a try.
Yep.
Most of the new ones I kind of was in that camp. It's an okay song. It's not as good as the ones I know and love. But they do have this song called...
Well, the question is how did you get to know and love those songs?
Yeah, who knows?
They were new at one time.
Yeah, and you listen to them over and over.
Right.
But not anymore.
Nope.
Nope.
Forget it.
It's not the classics.
Mm-mm.
I don't want some music by some old Viking-looking fuck.
Right. I only want them from back in the day.
That's right.
Back in 79. And they played that. It's off their new record. They said, this is one off the new record. And
notice the British accent.
Yeah, he threw that in there. I thought it was Biff for a minute.
This one from the new record.
Put it back in 79. Just from the very first lines, I'm like, oh shit, this could be a good song. And it was. It's got a simple, repeatable chorus. It goes on and on. So even if you're hearing it for the first time at a show, you could totally sing along. And just has that denim and leather kind of, we started back in the day, and we all love you, and you all love us, like metal shit. So
it's just that old metal shit.
It's old metal shit,
whatever.
man.
It's just, whatever. I don't know.
That was another rad song that anybody should check out on YouTube. Saxon back in '79. Even if you're not a huge Saxon fan, if you liked a few of their songs back in the day, you won't be disappointed with that one. So I don't know. I don't know how much detail.
What does he know then? I don't know. Give it a try. Anything. What the fuck? I don't know. He's kind of like the Jay Leno of heavy metal war story.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Give it a try. I like it. Like guys who are so decisive.
Like this guy.
Yeah, he's dead on decisive.
They were great. I don't know.
I don't know. You could give them a try.
I like that new song. I don't know.
I want to get into this. I never reviewed a concert before, but since it was very metal and
it was very what?
Metal.
What is that?
Isn't that a company that makes like toys?
It's metal. It's not metal.
Metal.
Whatever.
I think Saxon be a good band to do on Heavy Metal War Stories, but who knows if I'll find, if I know a guy who could really hang with the Saxon stuff. So,
what? He doesn't know a guy who could actually hang with the Saxon stuff?
Let me give you a suggestion. Bill Peters. Not hard to find there, Stevie. That guy could tell you Saxon stories till you're blue.
Right. Yeah, because they're so extreme.
Well, they are extreme.
No. Okay.
So, anything else about the show? Galaxy's a cool place to see a band compared to some of the bullshit places like the Whiskey in LA. But yeah, of course, no chicks there. Not totally true, but crowd is old as hell. Like almost everybody. Not I wanted to say that almost everybody's over 40, but that wouldn't even be true. I think almost everybody was at least over 45. So everybody in the crowd.
What, do you go around and take a poll?
Excuse me, how old are you?
You over 45? Thought so, old fuck.
Let me write that down.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
piece
old.
Of shit.
You smell like death.
Yeah, you don't get to see the demigods or whatever.
As old as hell, except for the Latino contingent's a little bit younger. Those guys love their metal, and then not very many women.
I don't know any Latinos that are into metal. Do you?
Latinos and Haitians, as far as I know, don't like a lot of metal.
They're into their metal.
They're into their metal. What metal? El Nino.
I don't know anything about the Spanish or the Mexican people into metal.
I thought they were into rap.
Yeah, they're more into that whole rappy thing.
That was my hunch.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Of course, and then the girl I brought, she had this tiny, tiny, tiny mini skirt on and stuff, so a little nervous when she just went, off to do her own thing for a while. But
why? What do you think was going to happen?
Be raped by those Latinos, apparently.
Apparently, I was really nervous because she was wearing a micro mini skirt.
And there was Latinos there, so God damn it.
So I was a bit nervous. Problems. I was nervous.
There's a bunch of old guys and Latinos. That bitch better look out.
Right, because they were old as fuck.
That's right, serial killers and Latins.
It turned out all right. She liked it too. She's a musician. She can respect when a band's like fucking going for it. But yeah. So Saxon, I don't know. I don't know. I have to say that when it comes to almost everything on Heavy Metal War Stories, when we bring up a band, I know all the shit from all their albums. I know every single.
Apparently, you don't.
Well, he's not. He's a little confused because apparently he usually does.
Yeah. But this time, as big a Saxon fan as I am, not so much.
Yeah. I'm a big Saxon fan. I know of 5 years of their career.
Right. Haven't bought anything in 25, 26 years, but God damn it, I know everything about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a casual fan. I would never talk about Judas Priest because I knew, 10 songs and Man of War, anybody who we've done like that. But I kind of, during that show, realized that I might just be a little bit casual fan of Saxon. Like, never heard the first...
That just occurred to you?
Good observation there, Stevie. Glad you figured that out.
After, the fact that they played like 15 songs in their set and I only knew about 7 or 8 of them, I thought, I'm kind of behind on my Saxon here.
I was listening to these songs. I was like, damn, I haven't bought any albums from these guys in 24 years.
Right.
I might not be a hardcore fan.
Yeah, I might be casual. It occurred to me.
It was an epiphany.
Yeah. I thought they were on hiatus since the last time I saw them 20 years ago.
I thought they broke up in 86.
Right.
Album, but I don't think anybody has. And then their next one's Wheels of Steel, which obviously has the classics like 747 Strange in the Night. It's got Wheels of Steel, and it's got Motorcycle Man, I think. But the weird thing is I keep forgetting which songs are on which album. Like I love like Strong Arm of the Law. I love Dallas 1 P.M., Denim and Leather. But sometimes I think, is Dallas 1 P.M. on Strong Arm of the Law, or is it on Denim and Leather? And there's a few songs that are just only okay. Like the crowd went ape shit when they said they were playing and the bands played on. Went ape shit for Heavy Metal Thunder. And those songs to me, they're all right. They're not bad. But I kind of felt like Saxon always had like 3 or 4 songs on a record. And then they had some other stuff that's just okay.
Okay, so Saxon isn't quite the band you look forward to seeing.
Apparently not.
They were just like, good enough. Not a big fan.
I don't know.
It's just like, I haven't eaten a, Snickers bar in like 15 years, and I had one the other day. Wasn't that great?
I don't know.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved them. But, as an adult, not so much.
I don't know.
So, Strong Arm of the Law is, essential shit. Denim and Leather is essential shit. Power and the Glory, it's pretty good. It's got some good stuff on it. That one, I feel like Power and the Glory it's got some instrumentals, and it's got an intro. It feels like it doesn't have that many songs on it, but it was actually the first one I ever heard, because they were opening for Maiden, and I had to fucking get their album before the show, because I back in the day there was no internet and stuff. You couldn't just check them out. I had to buy it to make sure I knew all the songs before the show. And so Power and the Glory.
So you had to know all the songs before the show.
That's right.
It was like a homework assignment.
That's right, because you can't go to a show and hear something new.
Right, because
discover something new and actually go home and buy it.
Because the ticket takers say, do you know all the songs in the new one? You're not allowed in here. I'm sorry.
Here's the set list. Which ones of these don't you know?
Yeah.
These two? You're out of here, pal.
Yeah, Biff said, if you don't know all the songs, you're not allowed to come into the show.
That's right. You can't buy a ticket.
So get out there, study the CD, then come back in when you know the songs.
Right.
That one's pretty good. I liked it, but I never loved it. And then you had Crusader. Now, Crusader is thought of by a lot of people as a legendary album. It was their biggest tour in America, and they dressed up like Crusaders, I think, if I remember right. I didn't see the show. And they had, so then...
Once again, proving what a big fan he was.
Huge fan.
On their biggest tour.
Oh, man. Stevie, he is something, isn't he?
It's on the cover, and it was kind of like, a nod to what Iron Maiden did to much greater success with Power Slave and the Egypt thing. But Crusader is a really shitty album. There's nothing very good on Crusader except for the excellent title track, which is, you can almost forget, one amazing track in this day and age, is more than you get with some albums. But, there's a lot of craptacular stuff on that. There's like Just You Rock. I remember that.
Did he say craptacular?
Craptacular, man.
Wow. So is their biggest tour their biggest album, but it sucked?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It was craptacular.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There's Sailing to America, and I bought this when I was a really young kid, Crusader, and you spend $7 on an LP, and you're 10 or however old I was, and it sucks. I mean, it's pretty devastating because you're not getting another record for quite some time. So I'm giving Crusader big thumbs down except for the title track, and it almost killed my Saxon fandom. But then...
It almost killed his fandom?
Oh, man.
But it appears that he's not so much a big fan now either.
No, apparently not. I think it did kill his fandom.
Yeah. So I realized after going to the show, not a big fan.
No, not really.
Innocence and No Excuse. Innocence is No Excuse came out, and that is a very good album. That is where most people think Saxon jumped the shark. Tried to get all poppy, try to get commercial, go for the American audience and that kind of shit. And I disagree. Innocence is No Excuse had a hot chick on the cover, and she's like sucking on this apple with the apple juice running down her chin and stuff. And every other Saxon album pretty much has some sort of version of a British crest, a lion and the unicorn, or two griffins attacking each other, or something like that. Except for...
I find it funny that he goes into a British accent when he's describing the album cover.
It's because they're British. It's British artwork.
But he has to enhance it with his phony British accent.
Dude, it might have been drawn in Britain. He's showing respect.
Okay.
Innocence, which has this hot chick. So they're obviously going for something different here. But I feel like most of the songs on it are really good. Rockin' Again is a good opener. Back on the Streets is poppy, but I liked it when I was a kid. And it's got Rock and Roll Gypsy, which Saxon played the other night. That's a good one. And some of the heavier ones like Call of the Wild, Devil Rides Out, and Gonna Raise Hell. I mean, I don't know how you can argue with any of those. I mean, Devil Rides Out has a creepy devil sound during the interlude. And Broken Heroes, I never loved Broken Heroes. I think it was this single. But I always liked Innocence is No Excuse. So if you're checking them out, I'd say give it another chance. A lot of people think it's where they started sucking, but it's miles better than Crusader. Although Crusader is the top song of both those albums combined.
Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you. That's enough of him.
All right. Well, I'm glad you dug up some Stevie Peavy.
Don't lose that one though, dude, because I mean we got to roll tonight. But Jesus, there's more on that, especially when he starts talking about Iron Maiden that we need to cover.
All right. Well, there's about a half an hour worth of Stevie Peavy to go.
Oh yes, maybe when we come back on the 29th.
All right, we'll finish up some Stevie Peavy, but it is getting late and we got to get out of here.
We got to roll.
All right, man. Well, it's been a good show. Next week is the best of the classic metal show for 2012, even though, it starts in August.
Yeah.
But we have enough
the half year.
But we have enough material to keep you guys in stitches.
I think if you've missed any of it, or even if you haven't, because me and you haven't missed any of it, obviously, and me and you both laugh when we hear these segments.
Sure. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So next week is the best of the classic metal show. Tune in for that if you haven't heard, since Chris's triumphant return in August.
Yeah.
The silliness that have ensued since.
Yeah, because it is funny.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank our guest tonight, James Rivera of Hellstar. Go pick up the new live album, 30 Years of Hell. It's just H-E-L.
Right.
And want to thank John Karabi for calling in. He's got a new acoustic CD, John Karabi Acoustic. So pick that up. That's on Rat Pack Records.
Right.
And our good friend Jeff Pilson, after a few years away, he checked in. Good talk with him. I enjoy Jeff quite a bit. Not a big fan of the TNN record, but nevertheless, it is what it is. So go pick that up, or at least download it somewhere.
Sure.
Give it a listen.
Give it a try.
Sure. And that's about it.
That's all, folks.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. So, Mr. Aiken, I'll let you do the honors and maybe pick a song for our way out of here.
All right. Well, since he referenced it and I like it, let's go with something from the latest release of Saxon that Stevie's never heard.
Not new Saxon, man.
Yes, dude, we got to. Let's go with the one he talked about though that he liked at the show. Let's go with Back in '79.
Okay. All right, dudes. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week, best of, and we'll be back live on the 29th before your new year, as long as things don't blow up by next week.
That's right.
As long as the Mayan calendar doesn't run out on us.
And if it does, it's been nice knowing you folks.
Exactly. All right, well, we're out of here. Here's Saxon with Back in '79. So until 2 weeks from now, this is Neeley along with my very good friend
me.
And we're out of here.
Bye, kiddies.